Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today it's going to be a match between Bisu and Smile here on Fighting Spirit from the Team Liquid replay pack that I got. And let's get right on into it here. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have the orange Protoss player. It is Bisu, going under a Smurf name, Only Star. And in the bottom right, it is the yellow Terran player, Dependa. That is his Smurf name. It is actually Smile. I cast an epic game between Bisu and Smile a while ago, and you guys liked it a lot. It has 50,000 views. If you want a link to it, let me know, and I'll put it in the description if you haven't seen it. But based on the view count, I assume that you have seen it. So anyway, it's going to be a TVP here on Fighting Spirit featuring two excellent StarCraft Brood War players here. Smile says GG. Bisu says nothing in response here. Maybe he said GG earlier, but I'm not entirely sure how to go back and look through the chat transcript. So hit that like button, you guys, if you enjoy these. Just gives me more visibility for YouTube and their algorithm. And yeah, it doesn't cost you anything, right? Right. Okay, so Gateway first here. And Supply Depot first here as well. Okay, so technically Pylon first into Gateway, and technically Supply Depot here into, let me say, a barracks. What do you think, man? Are you confident enough to go Command Center first here against Bisu? That'd be amazing, but nah. Throwing down the safe barracks up here at the top of the ramp is going to be a little bit safer than throwing it down on the low ground, which you don't really want to do because there will be Dragoons out sooner rather than later with range trying to knock down your stuff. And if barracks at the front, they will get killed fast by those Dragoons. Pretty good against buildings. You're going to have to repair them, and better that you just repair the bunker that we're probably going to see here at some point. So there's the one base in it into Cyber Core. Really good to get that Dragoon pressure out. Really slows down the Terran early on, which you're going to want to be doing here in your PvT situation. Meanwhile, we got a probe scouting around, and I was going to say, for a second, looked like she was going bottom right. And actually is. Yeah, based on this pathing right now, definitely going to check the bottom right first. Bisu scouted the right direction in a macro-style game, you guys. It's so rare that we see this, that in a macro game, Bisu actually scouts the right location. It's usually the complete opposite direction, but today I think we're good to go. Did you just assume there's a Terran down there? You probably shouldn't. That could be a scouting SCV, and his base could be elsewhere. There we go. So coming on down, I'm going to see, just to make sure this is where the Terran is actually living, Marine at the top of the ramp. Going to make this a little bit hard for the probe to actually do anything beyond verify this is where the Terran lives and that a barracks exists. And a factory. So quick factory here. I do love that. I do love quick factory here. We can see some tanks real fast. We can see some spider mines real fast. Singularity charge is less than halfway complete. And this factory is almost done. I love this build out of Smile. I do. You can basically assume Protoss players are going to go for that really fast ranged Dragoon attack on you. And if you just go for a factory first and get a tank out, they spend a lot of money on range for Dragoons and Dragoons for almost nothing. So far, so good. I gotta say, out of Smile, he is expanding inside his main base. This is where he's building his command center. Bisu's expanding, recognizing, okay, that factory means the Terran player didn't expand, so I can expand and get a bit of a lead on him here. How does that sound? Machine shop coming in. Yes! Machine shop on the way. Then we can get a tank out. Machine shop doesn't take that long to build. Tank, look at this timing here, too. He's got enough resources for a tank if he wants to build one. He does. Immediate tank. Loving this. So the problem is, you're in a little bit of trouble until that tank pops out because you don't have many Marines and you don't have a bunker. If you rush tanks, I don't know why Bisu's not in here, honestly. I guess Bisu wants to be able to make a quick exit in case bad things happen, like a tank shows up at some point. And the tank is going to show up at some point here and really chase this Dragoon away. There are no friends coming. This is exactly one Dragoon getting as much damage as possible, as much as he can do, until the tank shows up, and then it's time to go. 1, 2, 3 shots. Yeah, all the shields go down. 4 shots. Bisu didn't want to... Oh, another one. You didn't want that at all. So, yeah, get the heck out of there. No damage. Well, no kills anyway. Damage done, but it doesn't really matter here for Smile. I like it. I love this opening from Smile. Sure, his expansion is a little bit late, but his command center's done before the Nexus is done. So, hey, works out. I'm really happy about this. Going to do a Maynard transfer down there to the natural base, which is not the Australian Maynard who is the caster. It actually refers to a player from way back in the late 90s, early 2000s who piloted and came up with this concept of transferring a bunch of workers down to your natural once it was done. Just really oversaturating your main and then transferring a bunch of your natural once it was complete. Maynard transfer. Anyway, Dragoons are out. Siege mode is done. And man, that whole game of let's make a bunker and how many shots will the Dragoons get on that bunker and be repaired for the first 5 minutes of the game, we never actually did that. We skipped right to tanks, which by golly, I love it. I really, really like it a lot out of Smile. I know I'm gushing about this, but I think I'm mostly happy we didn't have to see that same opening here in the TVP. I was fully mentally prepared for it and it just never happened. So now, I mean, the natural base is safe. Tanks on the high ground are really safe from a good number of Dragoons here. I mean, they're going to have an observer to be able to spot the high ground at some point here. And by some point, I mean fairly soon, as the production tab says. We do have an observer just about ready to pop from that robotics facility. So perhaps not as safe as you might think, but the more tanks pop out with the extra factory here helping to double pump those, it's going to be really hard for Dragoons to do much of anything at all. So Bisu decides, I'm going to go for a third base here at 6 minutes. Feels safe enough to do that. I have a handful of Dragoons here. There's not really going to be Vulture attacks, probably. At this point, there are no early Vultures anyway. So you don't have to worry about it a whole lot, but some Dragoons at the front door are, you know, just better safe than sorry at that point. Vulture speed coming on in, going for +1 vehicle attacks here too is Smile. Loving that. We have a Forge actually from Bisu. Bisu's not interested in upgrades yet. I imagine he will get there. Bisu is too good a Protoss player to skip upgrades in a TVP. They're just good. Upgrades are good, especially the attack upgrades. Armor is not going to help you a whole ton against the siege tanks you're going to have to deal with. Wow, instant Goliaths. What are you seeing that makes you feel like you want instant Goliaths with Charon boost? I'm really trying to figure this out. Vultures with speed running around trying to find angles at which to kill things, but there are Dragoons and pylon walls blocking them at every path right now. Ooh, this is the fastest Charon boost. What on earth is going on? Third command center under construction inside the main again, whereas Bisu feels comfortable enough to throw it at the third base. Finally a Forge here from Bisu and a Citadel of Adun for Zealot speed. And maybe to get Storm or Archons. You know, we've seen Storm used to pretty good effect against a meching Terran before by Bisu in particular. That Bisu versus Smile game, again from a while ago, the 50,000 view one, that had Storm and a good amount of it. So we'll see if that is actually what the production tab will show us. And there's the +1 attack. So as soon as the Forge is done, Bisu gets right into those upgrades. Dragoons chasing out, trying to get these Vultures off their front lawn. Spider Mines are not done. In fact, they've just barely started. So it's going to be some time before those are ready to go. So speed first before Spider Mines, which makes sense. Being able to escape is always nice. But the large tank count is where things get a little bit dicey. The large tank count is where Dragoons suddenly cannot engage into the tanks. The way you beat this, in general, from what I've seen, is you make a lot of Dragoons, try to jump on that tank count and keep it as low as possible throughout the entire game. Ooh, probe kill. Was that bait? I almost feel like the placement of that probe, just kind of hovering just on the outside here, was bait. The Vulture pathing is really bad, and they get stuck on the Dragoons. They really wanted to kill that probe, but at this point they would have all died. So they decided to get on out of there with their yellow health. Observer does see. Holy crap, it's mech. Who knew? Who knew it was going to be mech from this Terran opponent? Because that's really all you can do. If you try to go Bio versus the Protoss, you'll get stormed and revered into oblivion, which we've seen in some of the team games that we've cast, where there's Terran involved and a Protoss on the other team. And the Terran's like, well, I can account for the Zerg, but accounting for the Protoss too is really hard, so you have a lot of Bio, and then, well, and then your Bio gets stormed into oblivion, or like reverse shot into oblivion with Scarabs over and over again, and it's just a sad scene. It's a sad scene for everyone. Fourth base, seriously, Bisu? Man alive, fourth base coming in. That's a beautiful sound of third base landing for the Terran player. Dragoon's trying to come on in here, but there's a tank on the high ground and another tank that could be high ground if it wanted. It's not in siege mode yet, but that's totally fine. Yeah, so this is as macro as you're going to see in an early PvT. There have been no serious attacks. We saw a little bit of Vulture poking around. We saw a little bit of Dragoon poking around really early, but other than that, it's been being fully allowed to macro up. Sure, now we have Arbiters on the way, but man, Charon Boost has been done for 10 minutes, it feels like. It's a little bit early on the Charon Boost Smile, is all I'm trying to say here. And Probe does go down. Probe can fit through that gap. Vultures cannot. Ooh, actually can hit. Can hit the Probes getting the gas there, but losing a couple shots there on the Dragoon for no reason. That's sad. But yeah, as the tank count gets higher, it really turns into a stasis battle. If you can't engage with them directly because you let the tank count get super high, as it looks like Bisu was really content to do, at that point what you want is to stasis them in half, so you're dealing with half the number of tanks at a time, which is extremely useful. We're getting, yeah, observer movement coming in too. I like that upgrade. I like speed upgrades for anything that you're going to build in StarCraft, and yes, if you're going specifically for something like a speed upgrade for a unit you're not actually making, like scouts, don't get that. But get the speed upgrade for stuff you're actually going to make in the game. Good, I'm glad we had this talk. Alright, so man, tank count, we're looking at +1 attack on the mech. The Dragoons have +1 attack. Did they sneak a Vulture through there through some kind of shenanigans? Ooh, Dragoon does go down. So you get Spider-Mine it to death. I feel like shenanigans were involved there. Or can Vulture just fit through there? This seems like a big gap, to be honest. But I've seen bigger gaps than that be actually blocking, so who knows. Sometimes building placement is a little bit of a mystery. Additional factories coming in from Smile. Yurder, 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 yurder. Yurder, 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 yurder. Yurder, yurder, yurder. There's our first sound. Where is it? There we go. Units getting cloaked by an Arbiter. One of my favorite sounds of all time. There's your stasis. There's your EMP coming in. Shockwave ability off of ye old science facility for the science vessels. Allows you to knock all the shields and all the mana off of enemy units if they have any mana to knock off. And shields to knock off. It's really good against Protoss because it will take Arbiters down to like no health at all. And then remove all of their mana. Ooh, brutal. Brutal experience for sure. But we're 11 minutes into this thing and I think it's time to go for Bisu. Or is he just going to expand his face off? That might be a way to do this, is just out macro the Terran player. End up getting, good golly, 5 bases before the Terran is even really considering taking a 4th. The problem is, if he shows up with too many tanks and he can park them under your front door, suddenly you're in a world of hurt. So you want to make sure that doesn't happen. That's what this observer's all about, is making sure that he knows when the army's going to move out. Because when that happens, he needs to jump on it. When those tanks are on siege, that's when they are less dangerous. Oh crap, the observer died. Okay, well, secondary backup observer is here, ready to go. We have like a tertiary zealot. Oh, another third observer. Okay, so I mean, the vision's pretty good on this one. I mean, I would honestly scan ahead a little bit and then just like go. Zealot count fairly high, but that's what the Vultures are for. That's what the Goliaths are for, more in particular. Boy, he is really preparing for carriers. He has a lot of Goliaths. I guess there are a higher number of Vultures here than I first saw. Dudes on their bikes, running around, doing dude stuff. Never taking their hands off the controls because, well, safety first, I guess. Is that another base? Of course it is. Yeah, man. Bisu's going 6 bases at 12 minutes, y'all. This isn't some insane macro we're seeing out of the best Protoss player of all time. And he's trying to expand in this top right, too. Holy crap, dude. Bisu is going super macro today against Smile. Smile's doing good for himself. He's got 177 supply. Bisu's maxed out, by the way, at 13 minutes. Are you maxed out in your Protoss games at 13 minutes? I don't think you are. Although, in fairness, are you being attacked versus being left alone for the first 13 minutes, as Bisu has effectively been? So, yeah, we just jumped straight ahead to the everybody's maxed out portion of this game, which is extremely exciting. There it is. Storm is coming in from Bisu, as predicted earlier. Dragoons, I assume, have +2 attack by now, and they certainly do. Vulture sitting at +2, +1. The armor upgrades coming faster than for the Protoss player for sure. Protoss not working on armor upgrades. Word instead about Storm and additional Arbiter energy. Is that a... I'm going to assume this was a recall. It really didn't go well, though, at all. How? Anyway. Yeah, that Protoss force got annihilated really fast. I'm not sure any SCVs died whatsoever. There are still 77 on the map to the 69 of Bisu. So yeah, I'd say Smile's macro abilities are equal to Bisu's. Maybe not better, but equal. He's maxed out right now. He's at 350 APM. He's got better upgrades than the Dragoons do. Bisu really trying to head this off as much as possible. Once the tanks siege up, the Dragoons fall back. This is the dance. Did you just drop 2 tanks here? Just dropped 2 tanks here for some reason. Spider Mine's taken down. Oh, a probe too. So they normally can't do what splash damage will if they're walking next to a zealot. And the Zealot gets killed by a Spider Mine. The splash will kill the probe. He's shuttling. Ooh, he's shuttling more units up here into the top right base. All right. Kind of like this. Kind of like this from Smile. I like this a lot, actually, from Smile. Full energy on this science vessel. EMP something, my guy. Saving energy doesn't save you anything at all. Is that another recall? Another recall down here. There are no tanks defending this area at the moment. There are definitely Spider Mines, but the Spider Mine count has not been refilled at this moment. Spider Mines take the Zealots out. All you have to worry about are the Dragoons, but you have the tank count to deal with it is the question. Top right base is getting killed by tanks and vultures at the same time, though. We are seeing some multi-pronged harass. Well, does it count if it's multi-pronged? Is that a pause? I think I was asking for a pause. The Dragoons really should not go in here. Okay, well, they're totally dead. No tanks died. And SCVs get back to work. There are still 71 SCVs, which is fine. Tanks setting up in the middle, and just, this is so many tanks. So many tanks. Top right base is going to go down. There's really nothing saving at this stage. Although DTs are trying to save it, they're not going to save that Nexus at all. In the chaos, we do see a fourth base on the way and just about complete for Smile on the right side, which I really enjoy. And with that, every base on the map, well, except for this one and the center one, have been taken. And this is where Smile says, I'm just going to wipe out a few bases if you don't mind. You really can't engage in this. Bisu's not even going to try. So tanks are set up to where they can attack this Nexus and cover the backside. This is so many tanks from Smile. I'm enjoying it immensely. This is Flash style, guys. This is a lot of tanks. DTs do go after this base on the right side. Another recall. Holy crap. This is the favorite recall position of Bisu today. The problem is there are still tanks. However, Zealots jumping on top of those tanks means tank count not as high as it otherwise could be. But additional reinforcements coming in. We are down to 69 SCVs, which means a few of them have been killed here, which would make a ton of sense. With the +2 Dragoons, with the +3 on the way going after them. So that Nexus, how is this not dead? I guess maybe they've been dealing with the army coming out and trying to handle it. Why would you walk into this? Bisu, no. Bisu. Alright, friendly fire a little bit there, but everything else totally dies. From the south side, with Arbiters, nice EMP. Ooh, the Stasis catches a couple tanks, but there are still so many tanks. And there's the Storm as well, but there are so many tanks here, and they're not cloaked because, oh, the Science Vessel goes down. Goliath needs to be taking down that Arbiter, but instead is really worried about these Zealots. And Smile holds on. He doesn't have a tank in range of this Nexus, which I think is a problem for him. Where are the reinforcements? He took the middle base. Are you kidding right now? He took the middle base. Goliath's trying to take down that Arbiter. Pretty fast on their two legs, their little two robot legs there. Dude, I'm serious. Bring these tanks in and finish off this Nexus. It's a big deal for you, my guy. These guys are going to come out of stasis, and they do. Zealot's trying to run on in and handle this, but there's a good number of Goliaths and Vultures and Storm on everything right now. We have a bit of chaos on the screen. Great Storm. High Templar getting wiped out. We're really on the front lines. This is where they should not be. More tanks going down thanks to the Storm, and these guys are still alive. These are veterans, man. 8 kills, and 4 kills on that one. Tanks do show up and take down the 12 o'clock base of Bisu while all that chaos was going on. 180 to 181 supply. Center base really needs to be held here. I gotta say from Smile, but he is not interested. He had some tanks here a minute ago. Reinforcements are going to come through right now. Why are they typing? The insanity is happening right in front of them. Nexus down again. Once again. Smile somehow. I don't know what that is. It shows up sometimes in the middle of games, but I'm not sure if it's referring to when the game happened or what. Either way, the center base is done for Smile, and Bisu's pushing in. I don't know about this. Observers going down. Vultures here trying to handle all of these Zealots, but Spider Mines are going to be needed, and they get laid down to assist. Friendly fire helping some the Protoss there a little bit. And Bisu decides not to go to the natural base. It's a little bit more protected. There's not much here at the 3 o'clock position for Smile. DT is getting wiped out, though, thanks to the combination of, well, Vultures and missile turrets, of course. This is a lot of Protoss up here all of a sudden, though. Reinforcements need to be showing up if they're going to save it. Look at him go, though. Smile going after the Nexus in the top right again. The vast majority of Smile's army is not doing anything right now, which they need to be doing stuff. Kill this top left base or something. Hanging out is not going to do it for you. Right side 3 o'clock base of Smile is gone. Probes transferring to the top right-hand side. Again, the majority of Smile's army is here. Bisu's maxed out. Smile's at 164 supply. Tanks firing in at this third base. 9 o'clock position. Defensive Matrix comes up. Does not help the tank as much as it should. Whoa! 2 tanks went down to that? I did not see what was on that other tank. Alright, cool, I guess. Is that another recall? My gosh, it's another recall. Bisu's down here at the third base. Really just wreaking havoc. Tank getting directly shot at. Well, not anymore, it's not. And probes are getting wrecked. Nexus is getting wrecked. This game, I feel like, is getting an epic tag. Again, what is with these two players? They are just playing each other extremely well. Smile holding on in this matchup, which people consider to be favored for Protoss unless Flash is playing, and Smile is not Flash. I love him. He's a really good player, but he's not Flash, because Flash would be maxed out right now. Flash would somehow have 20 more tanks rolling up from his natural base. His production was always insane. And he's retired now, so he's not dead. I shouldn't really speak of him in the past tense, but it's suddenly 199 to 155 supply, and Bisu has a massive lead. Look at this scary army. 3 attack and +1 armor. Like, these 4 tanks are not going to be able to handle it at all. If I was Bisu, I would just go ahead and move on to this and take it out. Anyway, Spider Mines can detect DTs, so using DTs to whittle out these Terran forces will eventually work. But yeah, these tanks are out. 8 kills on that tank, and he is done. 192 to 139 is getting even worse here for Smile. He's trying to reestablish his 3 o'clock position, and he does. He does land a command center there. It's really important that he was able to do that. Retaking his third base. Bisu not retaking this 4th base for some reason. Not really bothering with it. I guess he has the top right, so he didn't need it economically. But holy crap, walking... Why would you walk in here? Okay, Bisu decides to walk into a giant tank line. His Arbiters get wrecked. He feels like he has it, though. He feels extremely proud of the fact that he's got this thing. I've never seen him be so confident just walking into a giant tank line before, and I'm not sure it's working out super well for him. Reinforcements coming in from the south. A lot of Protoss died. A lot of Terran died, too. And that's 117 to 95 supply. That is Smile closing the gap, is what that is. A DT makes his way on over to the 3 o'clock position, is going after these SCVs, because Bisu can multitask while he's walking his army into a giant tank line. He can also send a DT over to the 3 o'clock and see how many SCVs he can take down. The answer was a few. It's 40 SCVs remaining. Remember when it was like 77? It's only 57 probes, so it's not like Bisu has a huge advantage. But Bisu is definitely up economically, and that is a huge deal in StarCraft. Additional shield upgrades on the way from Bisu, trying to take out this top right-hand base through more traditional means. Bisu says, fine, why don't I go ahead and wipe out your third, since you probably have no army down there. I have 1 tank and a Goliath. Spider Mines doing pretty well there, but does help take down the Goliath in the end. Additional Vultures wandering their way on down to try to deal with this, but Archons are pretty scary. Dragoons are really scary. And storming the SCV line, and that Vulture is that High Templar before he goes down. Topside going pretty well here too for Smile. Trying to shut down this top right-hand base count. Is going to be basically 2 mining bases for Smile, including this one, I think. Holy crap, this game. This is insanity right now. 3-3 tanks, though. 3-3 tanks are abjectly terrifying, and they will do pretty well against your Dragoons. Why are you not firing on anything? Glitch! We got a glitch, everybody. Dragoons are derpy. They absolutely are. Taking down this pylon so nothing can be built from these gateways would be incredible stuff. Oh my gosh, the probes are trying to get out, but the fire! More of them got out of there than I expected. DT does wander out here. Go after the tanks. Bisu has used Dark Templars strategically extremely well in this game. Like, ridiculously well in this game. Where are the scans? Do you have any scans? Yes, barely, just now. Well, that ComSat station is not connected to a command center, so it's not good for anything at all. Observer sniped. Bisu's got 1 mining base. He's got 2 mining bases. And there are 2 mining... Never mind, recall. I'm going to count this as a mining base for Smile, but suddenly it's not much of a mining base at all, actually. Yeah, man, these upgraded Zealots are just tearing through everything. The Dragoons at distance are doing pretty well for themselves, too. This tank on the low ground tries to help out. But at the end of times, he ends up dead as well. Army marching down to the 3 o'clock position. We are just looking. I think Bisu has this. It's 103 to 64 supply. Another source of income is toast for Smile. His 1 mining base. There are 28 SVs on the map. 3rd base down. I mean, Bisu's not incredibly healthy economically, but he has 2 bases. He has his 3rd and he has his 5th. He hasn't really bothered to replace anything else at this stage. Smile has some things to say about this game. The recalls have been consistent and they've been effective for Bisu, except for the first one. The first one is not effective, I gotta say. Is that a horseshoe symbol or like a theta or something in Greek? I feel like that's what we're looking at anyway. And a silence and a hush falls over the room as there is no engagement right now. Shuttle. Oh my gosh. Storm dropping. Try and do a storm drop up around this right side. This 1 base that Smile has. But there are Goliaths. Yeah, bit of a whiff of a storm there. That's another bit of a whiff of a storm there. And the High Templar dies without really feeling all that fulfilled as a High Templar. High ground storming, though. Those guys getting some stuff done, actually killing a Goliath. And then unloading before the turret's finished and catching. There we go. That second storm, much more effective down to the south. You there. 5 kills. Not bad. Tank Vulture Army going after one of the sources of income for Bisu, but there's just Army right on the spot here. So we're Johnny on the spotting it. And that's it. So we're at 120 to 63 total supply. It is doubling up in favor of Bisu. Smile can't expand. Doesn't have the money to expand. Has exactly 25 SCVs. He's bringing them back to work after dealing with a High Templar finally. Only Star is replacing his 4th. His 5th is still happy. His 3rd is still happy. He's mined out back home, but we're 27 minutes in, so of course that's the case. Of course that's the case. I mean, Smile's dragging this out, but I just don't... There's no way. There's really no way to come back here. It's 130 to 72 supply, plus 3 attack on these Dragoons, plus 2 armor, and plus 1 shields. Sure, it's 3-3 for the tanks. You just don't have enough of them. You have 3 total tanks. 3. The rest of you are vultures, throwing out spider mines and trying to get lucky with incredible spider mine hits to, like, win the day. Honestly, though, Smile can't win this. I understand he's trying to drag it out for as long as possible, and I appreciate that. There have been some premature GGs that I've been casting on the channel recently, so I'm kind of happy to see one, I suppose, where the player did not immediately GG out as soon as the situation seemed bad. But it's 10 Zealots at a time in production from Bisu and 2 tanks at a time. It's just, the math does not add up at this stage. The 4th base is back for Bisu. He's happily 3 base mining. Tank count is now 6. It's a little better. I don't know that Bisu's going to walk into this tank line this time, though. He only did the one time because he felt really confident. Is that more tank stuff? More tank stuff, man. And there's your GG! Or more High Templar stuff, rather. That's your GG. I do want to see that final... That final storm. Alright, where is it? There's something that takes him from 26 to 7 SCVs. It's gotta be this, yeah? Yeah, that's the one. So, you know, doesn't even have shuttle speed. La 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 la. Leisurely coming on down to throw down. How did you unload? I guess the other turret's not firing. That's it. The other turret wasn't firing, and bam. 9 kills on that High Templar. 7 SCVs remaining. Smile taps out. Good one. Really great game. Really fantastic display of Protoss dominance by Bisu. Smile held his own, man. Smile killed 1, 2, 3 Nexuses in this game. That's a pretty good number to kill when you're faced off against Bisu. The problem is he lost some command centers. The center one here, 3 o'clock, the one down below. Never really got anywhere else with it. Never really got anything but a 4-base economy where Bisu had everything else. And that's hard to come back from. Really is. Also, not killing this pylon, I feel, is a problem for Smile. DTs kept popping out of this, and if he'd killed the pylon first, these are unpowered, and then you don't have to worry about it. But his attention was probably elsewhere throughout most of the game. So good job with the recalls, recalling at this 3rd base consistently, recalling a couple times at the 4th base too. And then the storm drops were just disgusting out of Bisu. He knows how to take down the economy of an opposing player, and he will do it. Make no mistake, he will. All right, well, let's go ahead and check out the final score before we go. But yeah, hit that like button if you enjoyed the game. 239,000 points for Bisu, 221 for Smile. Did outproduce the Protoss player, but lost more by about the same as he produced. So that's kind of the game right there, isn't it? Structures raised. Both players lost a bunch of stuff there, which is awesome. Way more gas mined from Bisu. Way more minerals mined and way more spent. So that's it. That's the cost effectiveness of the Terran mech. You have to overwhelm it. You have to make more stuff than the Terran player, so their cost effectiveness doesn't win them the game, and that's what Bisu did. Just spent more, mined more, and used that to great effect in getting the win, especially with the High Templar, especially with the recalls, and a little bit of stasis too, although not as good as I would have expected from Bisu, but that's fine. It is totally fine. All right, well, good stuff. That's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.